Hey everybody, it's Melanie coming to you from the Outer Banks, North Carolina, and welcome to the mandala wall. Ta-da! I've been painting this since June. So I wanted to get on here today to talk about a spiritual journey that I just recently went on with myself, and my family got to go along too. We came down with the thing that everybody is terrified of getting, and I'm choosing not to use names and choosing to change words so that I don't trip up the stupid checker people. Anyways, because this is my journey and what I'm speaking is my truth, and I'm allowed to speak my truth because this whole censorship thing is a big problem, but that's a whole different peanut. We're going to talk about the journey. So we came down with it during the full moon in Aquarius, and it was right around July 24th. I think I was a couple days into it by that point. For me, I was knocked out with fevers for several days, like 4 days, I believe. And really, really sick. I have not been that sick since March of 2009 when I got pneumonia from the flu and continued to struggle with pneumonia for months later. What I went through this time was an illness, just like any other illness. It was an indicator that my body was in a toxic state, that I wasn't treating my body the way that I needed to be treating my body and fueling my body with the things I needed to be fueling my body with. I'm already very healthy when it comes to diet and exercise. I'm very active. I get a lot of sunshine, and I eat a whole foods plant-based diet. With that said, you can eat a whole foods plant-based diet and not be eating enough of the right things, and eating a lot of processed junk and garbage. When I came down with the thing, it was a big shock to my ego. It was a big ego death because I was so frustrated in the beginning that somebody so healthy that worked so hard for their health could come down with something like this. And then I realized, well, Mel, you're not working hard enough, and you haven't been juicing. I had gone to New York with my girls in June and got really lazy when it came to juicing, and prior to that I'd been juicing every day religiously. But when I went to New York, I forgot the parts to my juicer. So I hadn't been juicing. I hadn't been eating salads every day because I was frustrated and I didn't want to eat salad anymore. And these are important things when you are eating a whole foods plant-based diet, or any diet for that matter, that you're getting enough fruit, that you're getting enough nutrients from the fruit, that you are eating enough fiber, that you are eating enough veggies, and especially leafy dark green vegetables. What the thing did for me was it removed me from this outer world and stuck me deep into the present moment. When I had the fevers and headaches and eyeball pain, I wasn't able to do anything except either close my eyes and lay there or stare at the wall and lay there. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't listen to music. I couldn't paint. I couldn't draw. I could not do anything. I sat in the present moment and accepted it for what it was. After my initial anger and frustration that I'd come down with it, I truly embraced it as a tool to break down some of my ego that was still left. I used it to put me into the present moment and accept that that's where I needed to be right then and there. To find my gratitude for all of the things that I had, like air conditioning and little girls that could help get me things if I needed them. I didn't use any aspirin. I didn't use any Tylenol or Motrin to lower my fever. I did not use anything but turmeric root, ginger, and a hot pack. I microwaved my beans in the microwave. I've got a big pillowcase filled with beans. Oops, sorry. and I put it in the microwave, and you could do it in the oven if you don't have a microwave, and used that to help alleviate some of the pain in my arms and in my legs and in my back and in my body. It almost felt like a regeneration, working through, starting at the top here, and then slowly working its way down through the body. It started in the head, eyeball pain, throat. Each arm had really bad nerve pain, each hip, each leg, and it finished off with severe nerve pain in my lower back that then went like fire down my legs. And that was after the fevers, and that was probably for 11 days after the fevers had broken. I dealt with that pain. And I did take 2 aspirin during that time, where I needed a little bit of relief. It provided 4 hours of relief the first time and 4 hours of relief the second time, and I took them probably 5 days apart. In 5 years, I have only taken 4 aspirin, and 2 of them were on this journey. I know that our family did much better through this thing than most other families, and a lot of other people have been able to do, and that's because of the way we eat. I'm very strict about what I put into my body, and my husband is not so much. He does eat a lot of processed vegan foods. He loves his field roast sausages and his tofurkey and all of the things that's processed wheat gluten. He loved his bagels and his fake cheeses and all of those things. And I think it really showed, because I fevered for 4 days. I also fasted for the first 24 hours once my fever came on, and I also juiced for 7 days before I actually started eating solid food again. He, on the other hand, was craving everything under the sun, and that's your body's way of saying that you're detoxing it if you're craving it. Our friends were detoxing McDonald's, and they went to McDonald's and continued to throw it up, and diarrhea everywhere when they had the thing. So he fevered for 11 days, and I fevered for 4. He really struggled with it as well, because he didn't fast, and he also took aspirin the whole time to reduce his fever. I know that there are other people that really do struggle with this illness, and I know that some of them end up in the hospital, and I know that some of them die. The thing is, they're not dying from the thing, because it's proven reality that people survive it. What they're dying from is the comorbidities that they're ridden with: obesity, heart disease, diabetes. All of these things come from what you put in your body. Those 3 things. And there's many more, like Alzheimer's, and we could go on for days. But these 3 main things: cardiac, diabetes, endocrine, and obesity, all comes from what you're putting into your body. Nothing else. It doesn't matter your genetics, nothing. Because I had high blood pressure, because I have a history of cardiac illness in my family. I had prediabetes, because I have a history of diabetes in my family. When I changed my diet, those things disappeared, gone. I struggle so badly when they want to push, I'm trying to think of a word that isn't going to get me in trouble. When they push a Maxine, that lovely lady Maxine, she just keeps coming up. I really struggle when they push a Maxine on the entire population to help save a few, when those few won't save themselves. I struggle very hard when they want to push a Maxine on a huge population, a global population, and they want to persuade us with free food, such as pizza, that causes cardiac disease and diabetes. And they want to persuade us with things like donuts that cause cardiac disease and diabetes and obesity. They're just fueling the problem, guys. They serve this food in our schools. They serve this food in our hospitals, in our places of healing. But really, they're places of treatment because they're not healing you. They're just treating you. This is why I left the medical industry. If you didn't know, I was a nurse for 10 years in the medical industry. And I left, 2 years ago now. I had to go back in when I separated from my husband. But I left 4 years ago from the medical industry because I didn't believe in it anymore. When I could heal every illness that had resided within my body for decades, bipolar, heart disease, diabetes, when I could heal those with 30 days of changing my diet, I knew that there was something wrong. And I couldn't believe that I was participating in an industry that didn't know these things on how to truly heal people, but just to throw medication at them. I'm very frustrated that an illness that is survivable by the majority, 99% of the people that get it, survive. And of those 1% of the people that don't survive, they're not surviving because of the thing. They're not surviving because of their body and the way that they have treated their body. 78% of the people that die from this thing are dying, or are not dying, are obese. 78% of the people that die are obese. Those that are not obese have other chronic underlying health conditions such as cardiac disease and diabetes, among other things, cancer probably. And some of those that are labeled as dying of this thing didn't actually die from this thing. They just died before they could get their positive test results back, and they were labeled as the thing, even though that they weren't, and that's not why they were there. There have been people that have died died from car accidents that were tested but didn't have their test results come back positive yet, and were labeled as a thing death. I guess if you're watching this video, you probably already know this, but I do know a lot of people watch my stuff anyways because I'm eccentric and I'm weird and I'm out there, and I speak differently than what the mainstream media wants you to hear and all of the things. And I know that you guys are frustrated and angry by my viewpoints and what I speak, but I speak truth. And now I speak from experience. And now I truly know that I have nothing to fear. And even if I get this thing every single year for the rest of my life, I don't care. I would rather take this thing than ever get something put into me that's a chemical that doesn't actually help, because we now know that many of the people that are being hospitalized and that are getting sick again have received the other thing that goes in the arm, the vaccine. So please explain to me, if you're one of those folks that's really frustrated and angry by what I'm speaking and the truth that I'm speaking, please explain to me what the purpose is of getting this vaccine if it doesn't help stop this illness from happening. I choose to look at this illness as an opportunity to detox and an opportunity to clean your body, mind, spirit, and soul. I look at it as an opportunity to heal yourself from the inside out and allow your body to do what it needed to do decades ago, but we continue to shove massive amounts of really terrible food into our body so that it can't do this process without putting you into a health crisis. We need to change the way that we're thinking. We need to change the way that we are working through this issue. And if everybody just went out and lived their flippin' lives, that 2-week curve bullshit would have been done back in March 2020. Like, allow this illness to do what it needs to do and allow us to live our free and sovereign lives. I'm sick and tired of being told what to do for my body. I'm sick and tired of people being brainwashed and programmed, which you are. Did you know that they're hypnotizing you? And if you don't believe me, go to my Facebook page, Melanie Bortz Brewer. I just posted a video last night about the hypnosis that occurs within our society and what it's actually doing to ourselves and to our children and how it's working. And it's really frightening. I speak from experience in the medical industry. I speak from personal experience of getting this beautiful health crisis that changed my life. And I speak truth in hopes to change the way this world is working. So with all that said, if y'all have any questions, leave them down below. And I'm going to wish you all a beautiful day. Peace, love, namaste. Adios, guys.